Throughout my semester during EdTech, I learned a lot. I used so many apps that have been helpful and that I've actually used in my other classes. It surprised me how much work that I was going to have to put into this class and what I was capable of. I don't consider myself a very techie person, but I was able to complete these projects successfully and have a product that I was actually very proud of. Something that really made me think was looking at the other educators' blogs that we had to look at, like Shelley Fryer, and seeing how large the community of educators is and how supportive, and if you need anything, you can always look it up, and there's always a teacher there to help you. How my thinking of technology in a classroom has changed over the semester is I know that there's so much more out there than that I'm actually capable of. Like I said earlier, I don't consider myself a techie person, but I was able to use these apps effectively, and I know that I can teach my students how to use these apps for future projects. I actually have learned a lot over the semester. I know that the way of the world is changing and that everything is online nowadays, and students are taking classes online, and there's online schools, and for me to be an effective educator, I need to be able to incorporate online learning into my classroom, and that helped in so many ways, like with the Ed Puzzle, how we learned how to put questions into a video and stuff like that, just little things, and how I can engage my students. I've really learned, and I've also learned, like I said earlier, about the community of educators. One thing that surprised me over the semester was how proud I was going to be of my projects. I didn't think that I was going to turn in work that was going to be good because, as I said multiple times, I'm not techie. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. But I was able to do it and be effective with it and learn different ways that I can use projects like this in the future, and that I actually did a good job, and I liked how I was able to get ideas from the website. There are a few tools that were personally my favorite, but there are some that I wouldn't use again, but my two favorite ones that I used were Adobe Spark Page and Piktochart. Here is the app Spark Page, and you just click on it and then you start making your project. Here is the example of a Spark Page project that I made. I enjoyed using Adobe Spark Page because it's such a simple tool to use, and I've used it in multiple of my other classes because it's such a great way to have a different way to present information than just plain PowerPoint, which is what I was used to. Now, Adobe Spark Page is my go-to, and I was really pleased with how my presentations turned out. I thought they looked really good. They were really simple to understand, and like I said, they were very easy to do. It did not take me very long to do it. I can see this being a really good tool to engage my students in my presentations instead of, like I said, using PowerPoint. And also my students can use this tool as a final presentation to present their information as group work or individual, or even them presenting as a book report, them telling the class what information was in the book, what's important, and how it was relevant to the storyline. Here is the app Piktochart and how you can use it. These are the different formats of Piktochart, and you just pick one and then make your presentation. Here is an example of a Piktochart that I made having fun facts of Christmas. And next is Piktochart, like I mentioned earlier. It's such an easy app to use, and it gives you so many different formats. You can make infographics, you can make an About Me page, you can do presentations. There's so many options that you can do. So it can be an effective presentation app for any type of project that you're wanting your students to do. And I loved it because it gives you the choice of what kind of tool you want to use. And I like the idea of using it at the beginning of the year and creating an About Me page so that your students can get to know you. So you would create one and show your students all about you. And then your students would create it. That way you can get to know your students, what they're interested in, how they learn best, how can you be the most effective teacher for them, and how you can incorporate their interests into your teaching. Like I said, it's been a great semester learning about all this stuff, and I am excited to use this in future projects, future lesson plans, and all the stuff that I've learned I'm going to take to my classroom and use it as best that I can.